Oops, I didn't have the right. I didn't have the right screen. That's fine. We are starting anyway. We are starting, boys. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's see if I am ready. Should be. The webcam is shutting down as usual, but anyway. Hello everyone, good evening, good afternoon, welcome, welcome. No. Today we're gonna work again on the Dryken plane, and I did some reasoning on that. But before this, I wanted to install the new Blender because yeah, because I'm using an older version and I want to download it and install it new. Okay. I want to be sure that we have the latest. And sometime I don't update it. Oh, I started twice. No, I want it in where do we have Blender? It's not on F. It's on G. No, it's not on G. Is it on E? Maybe. Blender 4, there it is. Blender 4. Okay. Yeah, I want to install that. Yeah, my webcam stopped again. I don't know why at the beginning of the stream is stopping often and then at a certain point it stabilizes, right? It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's kind of strange actually. I think it's the hand tracker. Anyway, let me try to disable 1 second the hand tracker. Which by the way I don't remember how to do. It's too long, I don't know. There's a million menus. As usual, there's 1 million menus. Cannot do that. How are you guys today? I have to check also one commission. I don't know if I want to show it to you though. It's a bit of a secret. There's a bit of a secret. So maybe I will just stop the scene 1 second and I will check it. Is it starting or no? Blender 4.3. Blender 4.3, but we have Blender 4.4. We have Blender 4.4. I think anyway one overrides the other, hopefully. Import Blender 4.3 preferences. Yes, please. Otherwise I'm dead. Okay, imported it. Okay, give me a second. I want to check this file and see where we are with this, right? Because I think that we should be fairly close to have it completed. But I want to check if there is anything else to modify. Uh-oh, my PC stopped. Okay, is it back? 1 second, I'm just checking this thing. Why it feels so heavy? Feels super heavy. $28,000 faces. So I think it's kind of good. This is really not refined in any way, but fine. I don't know. 1 second, 1 second, I will be with you. I'm trying to understand. So this one, I think it took it from somewhere. It didn't make it, I assume. I assume it didn't make it. I think it start to be good. I mean, good at the point that it may be good to go, actually. There is always a bit of the issue, but I think it's pretty much done. I think the only question I have to ask is where did he take the body? If he took it or if he copied it somewhere, because that do we want to have doors or not? Nah, I think it's okay. I mean, it will require changes, but I would say it is not bad. My only issue is that this model probably. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm good. Okay, let me come back to you. Even my face is still stuck. Okay, so what we're gonna do? So I have a few ideas here, right? So we discussed yesterday about this, right? And we discussed, oh, we can have a sequence, right? And the sequence can trigger a choice, and the choice can trigger other sequences, right? And then those sequences may show a different outcome of the story. Hello, Hula. The problem I have with this is that it's making things very, very non-interactive, right? So that basically you are not playing much, right? So that's basically the point. You are not playing much, right? While what I would like to do, I would like the player anyway to be able to play a bit, right? To at least do something, right? Because if the gameplay of this zone is pretty much just go in, right? Go in, watch the movie, click a button, watch the other movie, and then move to the next island, I think it will be a bit too stale. I don't know what to say, a bit too simple, a bit too, boring, right? So I would like to have some kind of gameplay, at least a minimum gameplay. So what I was thinking, what if we have, right? By the way, also one thing that I discovered is that I can have what is that here? Yeah, I can have a sequence, right? I can have a sequence even without changing the camera to the sequence camera, right? So I can keep my own camera, I can keep my character in, and I can still play the sequence, which is kind of interesting, right? So like you see now, I am walking around, I reached a certain point, and the sequence triggers, right? And the sequence triggers. So I think my idea, and this really depends on how to do it, but my idea would be that we have a number of points in the map, right, where you basically have to walk and enable stuff, right? You basically have to walk and enable stuff. This state is kind of brutal, but I think it's fine. I mean, it's really brutal, yeah, it is. So the idea would be to say there are a number of things that you have to discover, right? Where discover is very simple. You just have to walk in the right place, right? And I don't know if you have to walk in the right sequence, but I would say no, right? I would say that if you walk in the right spot, right, you are enabling that particular element, right? And I don't know if I want whenever you enable something that, well, definitely there should be the effect, right? A bit of a sound, and so what I have to create, I basically have to create a generic element like this, that contains, yeah, it can be actually this one, right? But the problem is I think we can make it generic. My idea is to make it generic, right? So to have an object like this that is taking a specific ID, and this ID is, so I don't know if I want to set it up, but I don't even think that I have to set it up. So there will be a trigger box, right? And then there will be a mesh, right? A static mesh. And now it would be good if the trigger box is not exactly in the same location, so that you are not like overlapping, right, with the, so I would say that is far enough, right, so that is not, because with this idea, right, we could drop for example this, right? And I don't know if I want the particle to be generated I'm thinking if I want the particle effect to be inside the Dryken island or not, right? So I think I can, for example, let's take these stairs, right? The stairs are, yeah, my webcam, oh my god, it's starting to become annoying, this thing of the webcam. Every 2 seconds it disconnects, I don't know why. Let me try to remove the end tracker if I can find it. Select the tracker. No, it's not under trackers. Ah yes, end tracking. Okay, I removed it. I removed the end tracker, and let me see if this is making it a bit more stable. Let's see, maybe it works better. So let's try these stairs, right? These stairs are SM stairs 3. So if I delete the stair from here, and then I drop my trigger, which is this, right? And my trigger box. Now I think the location of the trigger compared to the trigger box is not really a problem, right? But definitely the location of the mesh, right? The location of the mesh is relevant. So if I do stair 3, right? So we can say, for example, that the mesh is here, but the trigger box is, for example, here, right? The trigger box is here. So if you walk in this area, this will appear, right? So that basically is what I'm saying. Now, how do we make it so that I think it's a cool project. When I look at it, I see something far from the game design. I usually know I usually know a little. The design they usually know. You mean in terms of like these colors or what? Because these stairs actually are stairs that we use in the game, huh? These ones. These are stairs that we use in the game. My face is stuck again. GG. I think we have to position this and we have to position the particle. Now, I don't know if the particle should really be... Yeah, but I think we need also the particle effect. We need the particle effect. I think we need the particle effect. And the particle effect will be associated... for example, in this case, will probably be here, right? And the particle effect, I think by default, will always be the same. So it will be the same that we use in the... So it's the blue choking gas something, right? Yeah, choking gas blue is this thing. So... yeah. Now, if I do this though, what happens? Because this is in auto activate, right? So basically, as soon as you drop it, you see it. But I think it's okay. And then we will also have a sound, but I think the sound we can actually trigger separately. I know you do what you can with the free items. Yeah. I mean, you mean like this thing? Yeah, this thing is different from our world somehow. I know. But I think it's very good quality. I really like it. I really like it. I think it's nice. I think it's good quality and is nice. Can it be similar to our game? I think it can. I mean, it's a bit special, right? It's a bit strange, but I know. But I mean, I would not change it now. I did a lot of work on it, right? So I created all the broken pieces. I created all these pieces. So some is created, other not. But okay, so this would be the trigger. So basically, what will happen is that by default, the particle system will be auto-activate off, right? And also it should not be visible, right? Or I don't know if the visibility, we need to trigger it or not. I think we can make it invisible, it's fine. We can make it invisible, and the same will be for the static mesh, right? The static mesh will be invisible at the beginning, so you will not see it, right? You will not see it. Now, when you overlap, and I think this should be done only once, right? Should be done only once, but basically when you overlap. I think all of this is not relevant anymore, right? I think all of this is not relevant anymore. So when you overlap, what do we want to do? We don't want to trigger the sequence anymore, because this sequence, I mean, is good and bad, right? The sequence, on one side I like the sequence, on the other side I don't like the sequence. So I think we can just trigger the... Yeah, so I think that this can just stay where it is. Can just stay there, and we will not use it for now. So what we want to do, the first thing that we want to do, we want to enable the particle system, right? So we want to set the visibility to true, and we want to set the auto activate to true. Right. So this will activate the particle system, right? Then what we want to do, we want to play the sound. And the sound, I don't know if I want to have a sound that is actually coming from a certain direction or not. But probably not. I think we will just play a 2D sound. I think we will just play a 2D sound. And the 2D sound is the in our case is this guy. Now this guy is a very long sound, so it may be a bit annoying. But I think it's good. I think we can have that. So this is what will happen. We will play the sound, show the play sound, show the particle system, and then we will wait a bit, right? We will wait a bit. I don't know how much, but like 2 seconds maybe. We will wait probably 2 seconds. And after the 2 seconds, we will make the static mesh visible. Right? So here we are basically recreating the sequence manually, yeah, but right? And then we will have a way, we need a way to actually count the progress, right? But I think I already have, in the real Dryken plane level, I think I already have a way to, I think it's the UI. Yeah, we do stuff in the UI, right? So in the Dryken plane UI, which by the way, I think I can maybe reuse. I think I will have to. Dryken glyph. What is this? Oh wow, I don't know what is that. I don't know what is this. I forgot about this. What the hell is it? Da 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 da. Yeah, my webcam is freezing continuously. I don't know why. I think or I buy a new one, or I don't know. It's annoying. It's freezing continuously. Yeah, sorry, I was just speaking with someone. So I think we can take the same Dryken UI, right? Because in the UIs where we take this UI, the Dryken shard UI, right? This Dryken shard UI is the one that keeps track of your shards, right? And it will be the same. So because based on the number of shards that you pick, right, you will have a different personality trait, right? And I'm thinking if I should just migrate it temporarily to the other project, maybe yes. Oh, wow. Because he has. Oh my god. No, it's too much. Yeah, because everything is connected. But anyway, I think we can create a fake UI in the other project and then we will adapt it. But basically, this UI has the understanding of how many shards you have, right? Yeah, add shard. Basically, has a function that is called add shard, and that function keeps track of how many shards you have in your inventory, right? So I think we have to do the same. So we can create maybe a simple sample simple sample shard. Why is saying that it cannot connect? 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Must be one machine down. Are you playing? Okay. Yeah, there was one machine. The Linux machine was down. Linux machine was down. Oops. Still down. Wait a second. No, we need that machine up because he has the subversion and everything. So we need this machine up. Okay, let me try again now and see what happens. Oh, it doesn't work. Why doesn't work? It doesn't work. Fuck. It doesn't work, my boys. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Why? Yeah, there is a problem in the verification of IPv4. What is my IP at the moment? My IP is this. Okay. Yeah, it's correct actually. It is correct. Okay, so why is not working? So it's probably a firewall issue. It's probably a firewall problem. Let me see why. So SVN, yes. Because he changed DP, yeah. Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, he changed the IP address, and I think I should really give this I should really give these devices a static IP, because otherwise every time is a bit of a mess. I think in the main network they have static IP, but in the subnet they don't. Okay, now it works. Okay, nice. We have the machine up again, and the subversion up again, and everything up again. Okay. Thanks for helping me not watch the news at time, because it was starting to affect me. Watching your stream calming my mind down. Yeah, the news are incredible. I mean, there is always yeah, very hard to follow. I agree. The most scary thing is that the bad news are news about other humans, right? It's not that we are speaking of aliens invading our world, right? And we are speaking of other humans like us that are doing the most terrible things ever, right? Like starting a war. And yeah, that's annoying. That is very annoying. So we wait 2 or 3 seconds, and then we show the mesh. Now the mesh will appear. I don't know if I can do like a trick that the mesh is like flickering in, but I don't know. In theory, I can, right? I can make it visible, invisible, visible, invisible multiple times. But I think we'll probably look bad. I think it's easier if I just show it, right? And then after this, I think pretty much that's it. So, and then yes, what I was saying is that we should create a UI of some kind, right? So there should be a simple user interface that keeps track of the shard number, right? So well, there are 2 things actually. There should be one that is keeping track of all the ID for each island. So in theory, I have to probably, I need probably 2 parameters, or the trigger, no, because the trigger cannot know, right? The trigger is, the trigger may know in which island is it. So I might have an ID, I may have an island ID, or something like that, right? Well, maybe we can even do it simpler. We can use the ID as the island ID, and when there are a certain number triggered, we may decide how many they are, like 8, right? 8 pieces, then we can trigger the final one. So this actually could be island ID. Yeah, I think so. So if it's island ID, you know, our UI can keep track of. So in the our UI, we will have add. We will have a new event that we call add location discovered, right? Add location discovered, and this will have the island ID as a parameter coming in, and then we will know, right? We will know, so we will switch on this. We have 5 island, so I think we can just switch, right? We can just switch on int, and we can start from 1, and we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? We can remove, well, the default, I don't know, we can just say unknown island, right? Unknown island number. I mean, this should never happen, but let's put it anyway, just for sake of completion. And right, and then this will count, right? So our first trigger will be island number 1, and this thing will have a counter, right? We'll have a counter, and it will have variables like island 1 discoveries, right? Discoveries, and this will be an integer that starts from 0, and every time, right? Every time we go to island 1, we increment it, right? We increment it, and then we do a check that if this number is equal to whatever number we decide, right? For example, 4, if there are 4 pieces, then this means that we have discovered the whole island, right? So we can say island fully discovered, right? Island fully discovered. And if not, we can say that we are missing some pieces, right? We are missing discoveries, still missing. Okay, so we can do something like this, right? And so when we at the moment we will do it immediately. So as soon as there is a new, so we will have island UI, which is actually an island UI, no, which is actually a Dryken UI, yes, exactly, which is empty at the beginning. And as soon as we trigger, right, we check for the current player. So we need to take the current player, and we basically add this discovery, right? We add the discovery. So for the player, we check we get the island UI, and we check if it's valid. And if it's valid, we we just call add how do we call it? Add location discovered, yeah. Add location discovered where my ID is the island ID, right? If it's not valid, right? If it's not valid, then we are just going to create the widget, Dryken new, and we are going to add the widget to the viewport, right? And add the widget to the viewport, and then we will go here again, right? And we have to set, obviously, the island. We have to set the island UI. Okay. So, okay. So basically this will add a new discovery to our island UI, and then when we reach 4, when we reach 4, we continue. It is annoying when government keep on letting group of immigrants that want to destroy a country from within come to Canada, for example. Likely watching you develop a game improving is amazing therapy for me. Oh, nice, fun. I like that. Yeah, I think that the immigration is really an issue in general, right? In many countries, and sometimes immigration is okay when the people are behaving, but if they are not, it's really a problem. Okay. Okay, so basically let's see if it works and let's see what happens, right? So basically now in this level we are missing the stair, right? The stair is not there. As soon as I go here, the particle didn't activate for whatever reason. Why the particle didn't activate? Should I say play or something? Or activate? Maybe I should activate it explicitly. Okay. Nice. Now the only thing is that we should do it only once, right? So this should be a duo. Yeah, but I think like this I like it. I think like this I kind of like it. I think like this I like it because now what I can do. Now we need to basically build the thing and then. So basically what I can do now, I can duplicate this, right? I can duplicate this and I can have a different mesh, right? The mesh will be this mesh. You have to tell me, guys, if you think that this is actually good or bad, right? You have to tell me. You have to tell me if this is. You will understand in a second, right? At the moment, maybe you're still confused of what I'm doing, but you will see it in a second. You will see the full sequence, right? You will see the full sequence. Now, the smaller we make the box, the harder it is to discover it, right? So we have to be... Oh, this mesh is completely wrong. Can we... Yeah. Right. I think it's kind of a small mini game, and I think it will be fun. I mean, it will be reasonable, right? I don't think I can do more than this. I don't think I can do more than this. I think that is the maximum that I can do without taking, you know, a month to build. I will position it better, but... I have to position the particle effect as well. I don't remember if this particle effect is always camera facing, but I think so. I've been working on doing some self-improvement, like few minutes of abs workout or even arm workout to improve my body will eventually pay off, and I will only improve my life for the better. Yeah, some exercise. I think it's very hard to do because you know, you say, oh, I do it tomorrow, and I do the same, unfortunately. But but yeah, it's kind of very important, at least to exercise a bit sometimes, or to just have a walk outside, you know, and such. So it's very, very important. I don't do it enough myself, so cannot really preach, right? At all. But what? Huh? I don't know. It's very weird. Okay. I think in theory it's better if it's in the middle of the object, but okay, so we have four triggers, right? We have four triggers. So now if I the only problem is, oh fuck, I just realized that it cannot be done this way. No. Oh fuck. Okay, let's think. I mean, I think I have a way to change it, but there is a problem that if I put them this way, right? If I put them this way, this will be part of the level. So basically this means that whatever player whatever player comes through this, he will have the problem is, how do I do it? How do I do it client side only, right? So I think I will have to drop them. I will have to generate them on the client on the fly. So I should only have the triggers, basically. Yeah, I think so. I will think about it. For now, let's not. There are multiple ways to do it. So, but anyway, if now I go here, right, and I set my static mesh to invisible and my particle mesh to invisible, right? Basically now what happens is this, right? There is nothing that you can see. So when you start the game, you see the level this way, right? With nothing visible. Well, with none of the additional elements visible, right? And then you go around a bit and you explore, right? You say, oh, maybe there is something behind this. Maybe there is something behind this. You go here, you check if there is something, there is nothing. You go here, and here something happens, right? And this thing appears. And maybe we can say something, right? We can say, maybe there can be a voiceover. Then you go around, right? And you arrive here. And something else happens, right? The strange thing that it was already colliding with me. Really? Uh-oh. So it's invisible but colliding. Okay, that's another reason why I cannot do it this way. So you understand how it works? You understand how it works? You understand it now? So basically, by walking around, you discover pieces, right? And you compose a kind of a puzzle or something. You compose the scene, right? You compose the scene. The only problem of this is that we have a problem because this thing should actually not exist. Unfortunately, it exists. So if I go here, if I go here, right? Here there is the stair already. Yeah, you see, I'm colliding with the stair because the stair exists. It's not visible, but it exists. Yeah, so I can even walk on it, right? I can even the moment I'm walking on the stair. That is not visible, but it is there. Okay, so this we cannot, unfortunately, this we cannot have, right? This we cannot have. Fuck. So basically we have to spawn. So you know what we the problem is the position though. Well, we can put it in a variable. Okay, let's do this. Let's put it in a variable. The variable will be our static mesh to spawn, right? The static mesh to spawn. This will be a static mesh. And this will point exactly to the object that we want to spawn. Like in this case, we are pointing to... Huh? Why is empty? Ah, no, fuck, I cannot do it. No, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it because I can set it from here. So from here I will say, yeah, so my static mesh to spawn is actually visible and is a variable, right? Is a variable that is pointing to, where is it? Why is not there? Yes, yes, is this, right? So I mean, it's a bit hard to, I mean, it's not super easy to set up, but we basically do it once, right? So that is my static mesh. Now I can remove it from here with the only point that the position should be there, right? I'm not changing the position, so the position and the rotation stay as they are. So now basically what I have to do when I'm triggering, I don't have to and so at that point the well, the mesh can still stay invisible because I can set it visible only when needed, right? So it can stay invisible. Yes. Then we don't have to show the mesh, we have to spawn the mesh, right? We have to spawn the mesh. We have to spawn the mesh. So basically we will have to read the static mesh to spawn, and we will have to set the visibility to visible, yes. And then I will have to set, can I set the mesh this way? Set static mesh to this? Seems I can. Okay, so if we do it this way, let me see if it works without triggering. So in theory now the mesh is not there, right? Exactly, yes. I think I'm colliding now with the second piece. I think here I'm colliding with the second piece, but the stair, which should be here, is not here, right? Is not here. But now if I trigger it, nice. Very, 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 very nice. Very, 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 very nice. Okay, so we can, so this way we will trigger it only on the client. Now, the only thing that I don't know is how this will react, considering that then you are walking on top of something that the server doesn't have, right? Because actually the server does not have the server 0 client 1. Server 0 client 1. So the server in theory will not see the stair, right? The server will not see the stair. Because I'm spawning on both. No, I have to spawn it. So basically all this needs to happen only on the client. So so we overlap now. I don't know if the overlap, no, the overlap should happen on the client as well, right? The overlap happens on the client on the server, or the overlap happens only on the server. If it happens only on the server, GG. I don't remember if the overlap, but basically Yeah, but the point is that if it is the server, we don't do anything. I want this to happen only on the client, right? And I know adding geometry only to the client is not the greatest idea, but we don't have another way. Because this thing should work multiplayer and so basically on the server, this overlap will do nothing. Okay. Exactly. So you see that on the server it didn't spawn. On the server it didn't spawn. So the server does not have the stair. This stair is only client side, right? Now the problem is that collision will not be authorized by the server somehow. So I may walk on top of this, but as you can see, yeah. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. Shit. Ah, there is a problem. There is a real problem. Ah. Ah. Ay, 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 ay. Why I cannot force the collision client side for that piece? That's super annoying. Yeah, I cannot because that's considered cheating. Ay, 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 fuck. Fuck. I think unfortunately the answer is no. Let me see what it's saying. Spawn the mesh locally. Set static mesh, set collision enable, set collision response to all channels, set mobility, set actor enable. Okay, all this is okay, but this is tricky. Normally the server is authority and will correct any movement. If the server doesn't see the stair, he may think the player is flying. Yeah, exactly. There's no way. Alternative trick, if you want to cosmetic stair, don't mind the axe, make the player fly or have movement constrained by gravity. Fuck. 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 Yeah, the answer is no. The answer is no, as I was thinking. Ah, it's such a pity. It's such a pity. It's such a freaking pity. So basically, my technique doesn't work. My technique doesn't work. I mean, it works, but it works in single player. It does not work in multiplayer. It does not work in multiplayer. Ay 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 ay. Yay, 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 yay. Yay, 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 yay. Yay, 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 yay. Yay, 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 yay. Yay, 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 yay. So Jesus. Is there a solution to this or no? Is there a solution to this or no? So the problem is, right, that the stair must exist on the server side if we want to walk on top of it. And I really want to walk on top of it because I want, for example, to place, you know, the second trigger on top of the stair. Yeah, it didn't work because I didn't set the mesh of the second piece. My face is stuck again. My face is stuck again. So I generate the stair, right? I generate the stair. And the second player comes, because if there is only one player, this is not a problem. Everything works. The way I did it, everything works. The problem is if there are two players, because the second player will already see the stair in place. Right? We'll already see the stair in place, which is super annoying. You will already see the stair in place, unless we use the net relevancy that we used in other cases. But if I use the net relevancy, in any case, it will not see the stair, but the stair will collide, which is very annoying as well. So I mean, one way would be, but obviously it's not a good idea. One way would be to allow only one player inside one island at a time, right? So it is the island, and basically you cannot enter if there is another player. But That is very, 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 very disruptive, right? Because the other player can just disconnect. I mean, can just be AFK on the island and GG. The other thing would be that the second player comes in, sees the stair, but he needs to trigger, right? He needs to trigger the trigger. If he doesn't trigger the trigger, the problem is that if he triggers the trigger, he's just adding the location, right, to his but it's very confusing because he will not understand what is going on, right? He will basically not understand what is going on. The second player will be super confused because the first player sees that every time he steps on the trigger, something appears, but the second player will see that the trigger triggers something, but the stair is already there, and he doesn't understand what he has to do, right? At that point, he will just walk around randomly. He will trigger all the triggers, and then at a certain point, it will actually work. Another way would be to say when you walk in as a second player, you basically get all the pieces that are already triggered as a shard. As a shard done, right? So for example, this guy already unlocked 3 pieces, and you get the 3 already in your list. So you only have to unlock the 4th one, or he needs to unlock a 4th one. So this will become really multiplayer, right? The problem is that you will lose a bit the sense of what the hell is going on. It is so annoying. So annoying. So the constraint is that this has collision, because if I have an object that has no collision and I don't want to walk on top of it, then I could really spawn it only on the client, right? Because at that point, yeah, I will have to spawn it only I can spawn it only on the client. So for example, if we say, oh, you can walk, but you cannot go up the stairs, so it will all be at the bottom level, right? All the things that you have to trigger are at the bottom level, and they don't collide. You just go through them. Then I can spawn it only client side. But the issue is that this will make the minigame too stupid, man. Basically, you can walk everywhere. Because, you know, I was thinking, for example, here, you know, to put another trigger on top of the stair, they were generating, for example, a rope, right? Or something like that, so that you could. But yeah, but that is basically breaking the game. I'm so annoyed by this. I am so freaking annoyed by that. But there is no solution to this. There is no solution. There is no solution to this. There is no solution to this. I mean, for example, this one, right, that you don't have to walk on. So we have to decide, do we want the ability to walk on top of these things or not? If we can live without the ability to walk on top, then everything works also in multiplayer, because I will be able to spawn it without collision. So the second player will not see it, is only client side. He will arrive here, he will see the stair only when needed, and everything will work as expected. Right? But this means that we cannot put a trigger that is above, right? We cannot put a trigger that is above. What I could do, if we do them all on the ground, I can then maybe at least have a sequence. So for example, right, you spawn the stair here, but you cannot spawn this piece until the stair is in, right? So if you walk here, nothing happens. So this basically has a prerequisite of this other one being done, right? If we do it this way, we can do it fully multiplayer. But I have to forfeit the idea of walking on top of things, which is actually very annoying. And basically we will disable the collision on everything. Do you understand the choice, guys? Do you have a suggestion? Do you have a point of view? So we have two choices, right? One choice is to allow the player to actually walk up the stairs, which means that we can put triggers above the stairs, right? But this breaks the multiplayer, because the second player that is walking in will see the stair already, and he will be confused of what else is going on, right? And yes, he can walk on all the triggers himself, but he will not understand what is happening. So it basically works single player with the second player being confused. The second option is to not have collision on any of these pieces. This means that you cannot walk up the stairs. So you can only trigger by walking on the ground here. And so if this stair, for example, I wanted to have a rope, right? I wanted to have a rope between this place and this place, right? And this means that I cannot place the trigger on top of the stair, because you will not be able to go up. So I will have to place the trigger somewhere here on the ground again, right? And maybe it's a small trigger, right? So that is not that easy to find. But yeah, so you will have to stay at ground level. All the objects will have collision disabled, so you will be able to walk through them. And the benefit is that the second player will basically start the puzzle from zero, right? So he can walk here and enable and see the stair. Will not be able to walk on it, but it will walk here, right, and see the ladder. It will walk here and whatever, right? So basically it becomes an horizontal puzzle. And you still cannot multi-instance. I mean, multi-instance, the problem multi-instance is the chat and everything else, right? Because if you are multi-instance, you don't have a common chat. So basically the people are not able to join the global channel unless we create a technology for it, right? Because the multi-instance is one server. Well, it's not server, right? It's just one process, right? One process running instance 1 and one process running instance 2. And that is Unreal Engine, right? There is Unreal Engine server if you want, right? Unreal Engine server. And there is another Unreal Engine server, right? And so one client will connect to this and another client will connect to this. So there is no communication, right? There is no communication between these two. There is no communication between these two, which means that you cannot have the global chat enabled unless we create a multi-instance global chat, right? But I mean, it's possible. I mean, I can do it, but it's quite some work, right? Plus, you know, if this thing is taking, I don't know, 5 gigabytes, right? 5 gigabytes of RAM. This thing is also taking 5 gigabytes of RAM, right? So for every player, right? For every player, I mean, you can strip it down. If it's only this level, maybe it's not 5 gigabytes, right? If it's only this level, it's probably smaller, but still is a full server running, right? Is a full server running. So and then you have the database, right? You have the database that you have to store the data. And so you have to create a layer here that is connecting, like saving the player data, the player position, you know. You will have to, so it is very instancing in the pure sense is, I mean, the real instancing, right? So you start 2 servers. Is very heavy on memory, on resources, on everything. Now the fake instancing that we do it because we do instances. We do it without collision because collision is impacting all the instances. So even if I do layered instances like we do for the Game Master events, right? So you have instance 0 where everything is, and instance 1 where maybe there is one additional table, right? There is a table item that you don't see when the player doesn't see and the Game Master sees, right? But this one cannot have collision enabled because the server does not understand layered instances up to today, right? So if we use this technique, we have exactly the same problem that we are having now. Exactly the same. If we use this technique, it will be solved, right? It will be solved, but you will have to create global chat between instances. You will have to create a layer for writing to the database, multi-instance. And you will need a lot more memory. So it's not very easy. I say working with another player made the game more fun. Yeah, I agree, but you know, in this case, you are really in the introduction of the game, right? So it's like if you are in an area that is not yet fully multiplayer, right? So it's is your introduction, right? So you are trying to escape from this plane, and your energy has been shattered to pieces, but is like a personal quest, right? This first quest is really a personal quest, and so the fact that you are alone, I think, could be okay. But we cannot afford it, right? I cannot buy, you know, 20 machines to have multi-shard plane shift. We cannot do it, right? We cannot do it. It's too much money, it's too much work, it's too much everything, right? So I cannot really do that. I cannot do that. So unfortunately, I would say that the only solution that we have is to remove the collision and spawn only on the client. I think it's the only solution. Which means that you will not be able to walk on top of the stair, right? You will not be able to. Which is a bit annoying, but that's what it is. So this means that we go back. So this means that I can put back this. Right? I can put back this, and I can say, don't do it on the server. Right, so on the server nothing will happen. And then what we have to be sure is that whenever we are showing the mesh, we basically set the collision of this mesh to no collision, right? Right. So that we are sure that this is not impacting another player. Right. So if I do it this way, this on the right is the server, right? This is what the server sees, and this is what the player sees, right? So the player will so if I go here without triggering, right, and I try to collide, it will not collide, right? You see, it's not colliding. Okay, now I catch the trigger, but yeah, this is not colliding, right? So this object exists only on the client. You see on the right side is not existing. So this exists only on the client. And when I trigger the second one, also it exists only on the client. And I can go through it, right? Which on the positive side, it looks like if he's a shadow, right? If he's a fake, if he's something that doesn't exist, which I think at the end is fine. Why disappear? Okay, anyway, yes, because this is doing the opposite now, because it's setting the empty mesh. Yeah, I think we will do it this way. Or trick, making 2 or 3 same area on the map. Yeah, but yeah, that could be also a trick. But how many you make, Ulla? You make like 3 and then you have 10 players and it doesn't work. You have 4 players, it doesn't work, right? You make 4 and then you have 6 and it doesn't work. You make 6 and then you have 10. I don't know, I mean, it's not really reasonable. But yes, in theory we could put multiple on the map. Is what we do with the guild houses. With the guild houses we put a copy of the guild house in another location. So it's actually a trick. I mean, you will be able to see the other player, but the difference is that you will see just the player walking around, right? And you will not see these items because these items will be invisible. Now, what we can do to make... The problem is that now if we have all the triggers on the ground, this makes the puzzle super simple, because basically you just walk around, you walk around, so there is no, right, there is no exploration too much. So maybe what we can do, let me just finish the conversion, right? So we copy this and we put it here. And we remove it from there. So we copy this and we put it here. Okay. So now it will actually be all invisible. And when I go through, right, the things will appear. Now I was thinking maybe we can make some logical things. Like for example, this one is spawning first, right? If you are trying to spawn the second one, it will not spawn unless the first one spawned already. So there is like a sequence, right, that you have to understand. And maybe this one. So I think I need an ID and I need a prerequisite. Right, I need a prerequisite ID. The problem is that how do we know? So yeah, then we will have to save by island the prerequisites. Yeah, but I think we can do it. I think we can say. I think we can say that this is the discovery ID or the ID. Let's call it discovery ID. This is the discovery ID, and then we have a prerequisite ID, which is only one, okay? So you don't have more than one prerequisite, I would say, right? It's only one prerequisite ID. So, for example, I can say... For example, I can say that my... I can say that this state, right, this one is... No, let's start with the first one. This one, right, is ID 1 and has no prerequisite, right? And this one is ID 2 and has prerequisite 1, right? And this one is ID number 3 and he has no prerequisite. And this one also is ID 4 and he has no prerequisite, right? Well, or maybe this one could have the prerequisite number 2, which is this one, right? Yeah, could have the prerequisite number 2 actually. Please, can I click it? Hello? Oh, Jesus, please. Why doesn't click? Okay, as prerequisite number 2, right? So at least there is a kind of a sequence in the thingies, right? At least there is a kind of a sequence, and it's a bit more, you know, discovery like. It's a mini game. Not sure one day 10 players come together to the Dryken plane, but who knows? Well, it's easy that maybe 2 friends, right, or 3 friends. They say, "Oh, let's play this game," and they do the character together, right? So at least 2 or 3, I think, is required. The problem is that if you do it in instances, the 4th one, right, we cannot play, because if you don't have the instance, you don't have the instance. It's not that unless I create one on the fly, but I don't know. This thing will be big, right? This thing will be big. We will have like 5 islands. So to have copy of 5 islands, I mean, it's a lot. So if it was just a small space, yes, but I think it's kind of a big one. So I don't know. Okay, let me see if I can have the prerequisite work, right? Let me see if I can have the prerequisite work. So basically, what we want to do, we want to check if we are on the server, and then we have to check the prerequisites, right? Here we have to check the prerequisite. So let's say that if the prerequisite ID is equal to 0, right? Then there is no prerequisite, right? So in that case, we can just continue. But if it's not 0, then we need to go in our player pawn island UI, because the island UI is the one that is keeping track of everything, right? So, and this will be check prerequisite discovery, right? And it is done by player, so every player has his own list of discoveries, right? And in the island UI, we want to check the prerequisites. So we need to have a check prerequisite, right? We need to have a check prerequisite, and check prerequisite will take the island ID, and it will take the ID to check, right? The ID to check. Okay. So I think that for each island, then we need to keep an array of already discovered, right? So we need an island. So yeah, probably I need to change the. Yeah, I think I need to change that. So let's do this. So this one becomes an array, and then it's solved, right? It is an array of integers, right? It is an array of integers, and so when we add the location discovered, we also need to add the discovery ID, right? So we will do add. I would do add unique actually, but yeah, I mean it will be unique for sure. But let's do add unique just to be sure, right? and we will add the discovery ID. And then we will say that if the num, right, if the length of this is equal to 4 after the add unique, right, then we have completed our island, right? Then we have completed our island. So it is important to be set properly because it's so it has to be set based on the number of discoveries for this island, right? So it is very important. If you set it wrong, it will not work. Okay, so we add unique there. And then here, when we have to do the prerequisite, is very easy because we will switch by island exactly like we do here. And we can also have the same fallback, right? In case of default, I think it's the same, right? And then here, for example, for island 1, we will get the island 1 discoveries. No, we will get the island 1 discoveries, and we will find, right? We will find an item. Fuck. No, it doesn't work. No, I need to pass the prerequisite to check. Exactly. Because this doesn't know the prerequisites. Is the object that knows the prerequisite. So this is the prerequisite to check. It is the prerequisite ID to check, right? Okay, so now I can find it. Yes. Now I can find it, right? If I find it. So if this is equal, if this is different than -1, then we found it, right? By the way, this should be a function though. Oh fuck. This should be a function. Because we need a return value, right? Check, yeah, we need a return value. Which should be Boolean, right? Which is okay or not okay. So if the discovery is found, then we return true. If not, we return false. So we can basically return this pretty much, right? We can return this. Okay, nice. And here there will be multiple return node for each island, right? But now I'm doing only island 1 just because it's just a test, right? But yeah, but this would, okay, so now now in my island UI, I have to check my prerequisite, and the prerequisite will be the prerequisite is this, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the prerequisite ID. Exactly. Okay. So if this returns true, so we have the prerequisite, then we show it. If not, we don't show it. I can print something just for us, but basically this will be prerequisite not met for ID, blah, 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 right? So prerequisite not met for ID, and then the prerequisite ID. Okay. Okay, so if this works, it would be nice. Let's see. Let's see if it works. At this point, I don't need the server anymore. I think I can go... well, anyway, let's go server so we validate that it's still working also with the server, but it's fine. Okay, so basically now, if I try to trigger this one, the second one, it will tell me client 0 prerequisite not met, right? You see? So here you are not triggering anything. Here you are not triggering anything. But if you trigger this one, and then you trigger this one, ah, fuck. Unknown island number? What do you mean unknown island number? Huh? I didn't set, wait, I didn't set the island number on this guy. Is island 1. Wait, there is something I didn't connect. Ah, island 0. No. Island I need to connect. Ah, fuck. How do I know? Well, the island is for sure the same island. Yeah, island ID. Yeah, exactly. Okay. This. I forgot to connect this. I forgot to connect that. Yes. Okay, let's do it again. So if I try to trigger this, nothing happens, right? It's saying prerequisite not met for ID 1. If I go here, I trigger this. I can go through it, unfortunately. I cannot walk on it, but it's fine. And now, unknown island number 1. Unknown island number 1. What the fuck? Unknown island number 1. Ah, shit. Okay, it was another non-connected piece. Ah, it happens. Okay. Prerequisite not met for ID 1. Because we never added to the discovery. No, I did, no? I didn't? I didn't. Add location, yeah, I did it. Add discovery ID. Add location discovered. I'm not passing the island ID properly. I'm not passing the discovery ID. The discovery ID is this. Is my discovery ID, yes, exactly. Okay. Let's try again. So I try to trigger this. Nothing happens. Trigger this. Works. Trigger this. It works. Okay. And this happens only one time, right? So if I try to trigger it again, it will not trigger anymore, right? So now I have these two pieces, right? Now I have these two pieces. This one actually is independent, so I can trigger it anytime. And this other one, I can trigger it anytime, right? And now the island is complete. Did he say island complete? Yeah, island fully discovered, exactly. Because he knows that we have 4 pieces. Now there will be more than 4 pieces, but pretty much this is kind of working, right? This is kind of working. On the server side, basically nothing happened, right? On the server side, there is just one player running around, and none of these pieces are here. They don't collide, we don't trigger, we don't do anything, right? So on the server side, it's just the island. So we can have as many players as we want. We can have as many players as we want in the island, which I think is nice. Which I think is nice. I think it's nice, guys. I think at the end I like it. There was an error though. Access and non trying to read properly island ID, island UI. Trying to check island UI. Because it was not created yet, or what? I don't know when this happened actually. Can we see when that happens? I don't know if it happened on the server side or on the client side. For example, if I try to trigger the one that is here. Okay, it happens when you try to trigger something and the island ID is not, and the UI is not created yet. Yeah, because we create a UI only here. We create a UI only here. So until then, we don't. Well, we can add and it's valid, right? If it's not valid, it means that I don't have even one. I don't even have one discovery. So to continue, my island must be valid, right? My island ID, my island UI, whatever. My island UI, yes, should be valid. So if the UI is not valid, we just don't do anything, right? Just don't do anything. So it means that wait a second though. No, wait. If the island is not valid, no, because it's the first time. Here is basically when I'm hitting a prerequisite, but my island is not valid, meaning that I didn't discover anything, so I can just exit. Yeah, correct. I think it's fine. So it will not. Sometimes it's so hard to select the border. Okay. It will not trigger at all, right? So now we should not get the error. If I go here, right, and we should not get the error. Yeah, but this thing doesn't trigger, right? This thing doesn't trigger. And in theory, we should say this should probably go to prerequisite not met, right? It should go here. Because there is a prerequisite and the island UI is not valid, so we are not meeting the prerequisite. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I think the logic is kind of yeah, you see, prerequisite not met for ID 2. So that one doesn't trigger. This one actually triggers because we set 0 prerequisites. So this one triggers. This one doesn't, but this one does. Now if I have that and I go here, nothing triggers. Now this triggers, and this triggers. Okay. I think I kind of like it. Now, obviously, we had to downgrade a bit of our ideas, right? So we had bigger ideas, but we had to downgrade our ideas due to the time needed to develop something more complex, right? But I think that this will be nice. So we will create here a scenario, and the scenario will be one guy so this thing will be in flames, right? There will be a particle effect in flames there, and there will be one guy here in trouble, right? There will be one guy in trouble. The only problem is that the guy will fall down. No, Jesus. If there is no collision, right? If there is no collision, I think if I put a character there, it would just fall down. I can disable physics. I think I can disable physics. But there should be a skeletal mesh then, not... crap. Okay. Yeah, we need to support static mesh and skeletal mesh, right? At the moment, this system supports only... But basically what I will... the picture, I mean, the full picture will be... The full picture will be this, look. The full picture will be the stair, the other piece of wood there, a person here, and a flame, right? A fire starting here, right? Then there will be a ladder here, and there will be a rope that goes from here to there, right? I still have to create, and there will be a rope from here to here, and then I think that's it. No, and there will be people, right? And there will be a group of people here. A group of people. Right? A group of people. So this is the total. So when you discover all of this, in the center here, there will appear a bracer. There will appear a bracer with the 2 shards, right? With the 2 shards, which are these 2 shards, right? So this thing will appear here with the 2 shards, and when you go there will be another trigger, right? There will be another trigger that will say what option you want to choose, right? What do you want to choose? You want to ask to the people to help you so that they can use the well with the water and extinguish the fire, right? While you are going to the person right? To ensure that it doesn't fall down and die. Or do you want to go by yourself on the ladder and then on the rope and then save the guy yourself without the help of the people, right? And this will be the choice between a solitary solution and a social solution, right? So this will be the split between social and solitary. So if you want to rely on other people and you like to play as a team, or if you want to play more solo and solve things by yourself, right? So this will be the first choice in the first scenario. So then we need 5 scenarios like this for all the psychological traits that we have defined, right? I think it's okay. So do you understand how it works now? Do you understand how it works and yeah, and do you like it? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's fun to do this and then to have your choice, and then you take your personality choice, and this is basically rebuilding your shattered soul, and then when you have all your energy back, you can exit and continue your travel. I think one cool thing would be if you could learn a bit more about the lore of the game during these scenarios, right? Because at the moment this scenario is built to create the choice between social and solitary, right? And then the next ones, I don't remember what are the next ones, but the next ones are the next ones are bold or cautious, organized or creative, lawful or rebellious, impulsive or thoughtful. So we will have to create one scenario for each of those. Now, would be nice if while going through this scenario you could learn, right, something about the lore of the game or something. But it's not very easy because I'm already creating this scenario, and on top of this I have to create the connection with the lore. And maybe some tutorial on, but you know, the tutorial on clicking things, I mean, we can have I mean, like for example, this item, right, could be a real item, right? This item could be a real item. So it could be, maybe the 2 gems will be invisible. But this thing could be there. Do you have any ideas, guys, on how to connect this with a bit of lore of the game, or with a bit of a tutorial, right? I mean, unfortunately, the player will not be able to climb, so we cannot say, oh, You can mantle on objects because there is... Now, when you take... I think when you take the shard, the level should reset, right? So everything should go away. So basically every item should go away. Now, how the hell do we know? How the hell do we know which items we need to make? Well, we can hard code it. I think we can just hard code it and it's okay. So we will have to hard code two things. We will have to hard code the number of items, this one, right? The number of items in the island. And then we will probably have to hard code the ending of it. Dryken shard, floating shard. I don't remember if this shard includes already the particle. Yeah, it does include the particle. But I don't remember. How do we do the coloring? Dryken shard. There was a way. Anyway, we have a way. I don't remember how, but we have a way to change the color. We actually seen it like 2 or 3 days ago, but I completely forgot. There is a blue shard and there is one shard that is blue and not... Yeah, this one, right? This one is blue. Floating shard. How do we change the... we change the material and we change... So we change the material on the shard. Here we have lesser bonding. I don't understand how we change the particle from this color to the other color. There should be a parameter somewhere, but I don't see. Ah, wait. Template shard effect, P shard effect. Template P shard effect 2. Yeah, we're just changing. There are two different effects. Okay, fine. There are two different effects, yes. So basically, yeah, the problem is that I think this shard has in it all the player controller and such, so we cannot really export it as is because it has a million of connections, right, with our so what I can do, I can just export this if we migrate this if we want, so it's not a lot, right? The shard itself I can migrate, but not the whole blueprint. So now here we have it under what? We have it under Dryken plane. Yes. Yeah. So the idea is that there may be a bracer or something in the middle. Should it be a bracer or what? Because basically I need a... So I don't know if the two shards should be... I don't know if the two shards should be together on a kind of a bracer or something, or not. I mean, it would be nice to have a kind of a bracer, but we have some bracers, but they are not amazing. I think they are kind of... well, this one is not bad actually. We have this one. Maybe we can use this one. This one is not bad. It's pretty nice in the right? Is it too dark? Maybe the problem is that this one is very dark. So it's like designed to be in with flames on it or something on it. You know, maybe what I can do, I can do this. Migrate. Yeah, it's a bit of stuff, but it's reasonable. Can migrate all of that. So we can create a new blueprint. Right. It's weird. Why? I think probably scale it down. No? Location -39. Scale 2. The rock is actually 2 and that one, okay, so it's the opposite. So this thing is scaled twice. And this thing is -39. Okay. I'm recreating a bit this thing because I just want to have a sense of how it looks, right? If it looks good or if it looks bad, I just want to have a sense of... in this sample project. Okay, so now we basically have the two shards as they are in the real project. So if I delete this two and I put in this ones, they have the effect, right? I don't know if they are too big, but and we have the brazier, how do you say? Right. It's a bit small though. Maybe we can make this smaller. If I do 0.5, do you think that the... Seems it does. The particle effect is scaled with it. So we could have one... It's not really fitting though, because these things are way bigger than... Or we put them really one next to each other. I think it would look a bit weird. Or we have two of these guys, one for each shard. Because I think otherwise it looks a bit... So basically the brazier will be there, but the shards will be invisible. And they will appear when you complete the island. The Dryken plane look more and more complicated. I think if I start the game, I think I never enter in Idla. Nah, I think it will not be that long. I think it's not that long. The way I'm doing it now is fairly simple. And anyway, it's a game, you know? I mean, the objective is not to enter the city. The objective is to play the game. Right? So the player doesn't know what Idla is and where it is. It's just playing the game the way it is. So he doesn't know. He will never know until he enters the game. So or I do this, or I do... But I think that this will be too much. Or I do this, right? So that you see two, but I think 2 is too much. I think 2 is too much. I think it should be 1. Can we stretch it in one direction so that it is longer? We can. So it could be like this. Maybe. Maybe. So basically when you discover all the pieces, right? When you discover all the pieces, Where is the piece to discover? Huh? No, it doesn't work anymore. Fuck. Why it doesn't work anymore? What happened? Because I am the server as well at the moment. I am the server as well at the moment. So basically, you will discover all the pieces. You will discover all the pieces. And when you discover all the pieces, the two shards will appear in the middle, right? This thing will appear in the middle with the two shards. And you will come here. And as soon as you reach it, I think probably there we can play the sequence, right? There we could play a sequence where the camera changes, right? The camera changes. It goes up, right? It goes up. It shows you the full. It shows you the full thing that you created, right? So probably the view will be like from the top, like this, and then it will ask you the choice, right? We'll ask you, do you want to pick the blue or the pink, right? Where the blue, we will have to decide if the blue is the solitary or the pink is the solitary, but pretty much it will ask you that. And when that happens and you make your choice, there will be something that opens, right? At the end of the aisle. So there will be like a light here, and you will be able to go and reach the next island, right? You will reach the next island. Yeah, I think it's nice. You don't like it, Ulla? You think it's too complex? I mean, it's too complex because now you see the building of it, right? But I mean, it's fairly quick, right? You just have to walk around and discover some stuff, right? You discover some stuff, then you get a bit of the story, and you go here and it's done, right? So it takes like 2 minutes. It doesn't seem to be very complex to me. But I really like this idea of the things appearing, and now the only problem is that this guy will have to stay here from the beginning, right? This guy will be here from the beginning, while these two things will not be, right? In theory, we could also have them fly a bit up and down if we want. They can float a bit, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think we can have them. I think we can have them there. So this will be these two will start as hidden in game, right? So this will be like island 1, island 1, island 1 shard blue, island 1 shard pink, and this will be island 1 braziers, right? Yeah, I will have to organize everything by I will have to organize everything by island, right? I can do that later. So there will be another trigger here, which is the trigger for the shards, or not? No, I think well, yes, because we cannot really right click on stuff. So these two will be hidden in game, right? These two will be hidden in game, and then when we complete island 1, when we complete island fully discovered, right? When we do that, then we will have to find, so I have to tag them somehow, man. I have to tag them. Is there a better way to have a reference to these two shards without searching all the objects in game? Which is kind of annoying. Well, we can go by class. But yeah, we can go by class, but I don't think I have a way to use a direct reference unless we put it in the level. We could have a level reference. I mean, in the level blueprint, we could set a reference to these two things. I don't know. For now, I think it's fine. We can. It's fine. We can. We can. We can. Sharp blue and sharp pink. I can tag them. I can tag them as island 1. I can tag them as island 1. So when we are here, right, we can get all actors of class by tag. And the class will be shard blue and shard pink, right? Now I don't know if I want to do it exactly this way, right? But this is a way. There is a way. So when the island is fully discovered, we will for loop here, and we will set hidden in game. We'll set hidden in game. What? Actor? No, I mean the whole thing. Huh? Is the hidden in game only for no, I don't think so. Is the actor hidden in game, right? So is the whole actor. It's not the mesh or anything else, right? So it's the whole actor. Why saying static mesh? Why? No, it's this. Ah, it's this thing. Okay, I found it. I found it. Obviously, again, all of this happens only on the client, right? All this happens only on the client. So you will see exactly. Okay. Okay, let me see if this works. So basically what I have to do, let me do it server though. right? So I might so yeah, I see the brazier, right? I see the brazier, but there are no shards, right? There is nothing. There is just the scene. Maybe the brazier can also be more far, not really in the middle. I don't know. I mean, if you try to go here, actually, I'm colliding with the thingies because they actually exist or no? I don't know. Probably not. I have no idea. It seems that they exist actually. But anyway. I don't think you can get stuck, so you go and you start to solve the puzzle. Right? You solve the puzzle. And now the two things have appeared, right? I don't know why the particle is not starting. I think we probably have to activate the particle specifically. But anyway, you will arrive here. You will see the particle as well. And then when you arrive here, it will give you the choice. Okay? It will give you the choice. So there will be a trigger around this that triggers only when the island is completed. Only when the island is completed. And then a path will open, right? And you will be able to exit. Now, considering it's multiplayer, another player can finish this before you and he can actually open the door. If that happens, you can actually go through, but you will not have the shard. So you will basically be, I mean, you will have to go back, right? You will have to go back. You will have to go back. Or we can have, you know, a check on the trigger if you finish the island. If you finish the island, you can open the door as much as you want. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Something like that. I think so. Okay, guys, I need to go, but I think the foundation of this is basically in place now. I think so we can basically create a kind of a small puzzle, which is basically based on the on this discovery of different elements and then on the choice. I think it would be kind of nice maybe when you discover a piece, if there is some text or some, I don't know, something, right? Look at the light they have on the chest that is actually lighting up that. Yeah, we have to activate the particle somehow. But yeah, that's the idea, guys. I think it works. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I mean, we'll have to see it, you know, with all the pieces and the choices and everything. But I think it would be nice. Okay, guys. So thank you for watching. See you tomorrow evening, 9:30 p.m. European time. It seems that my face is stuck as it was before. I can try to unstuck it one more time. Okay, now it's moving. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Remember to click on follow on Twitch if you can, and subscribe on YouTube. And also remember that our game is actually released. So if you want to play it, you can go to our website, click on download now, and you can download it for Windows, for Linux, and for Mac. Bye bye. Bye. See you.